So let's start with section 2.8. Let's see here. We have let f of x and g of x are functions. Okay? And with the function. Now, we're going to take the operation with the function. The first one, if we add these two functions, how we're going to add it is going to be the first function plus the second one. If there is minus between these two functions, like f minus g for x, is going to be f of x minus g of x. The same thing if we have multiplication. It's going to be the first function times the second one. Is that okay? Division, f divided by g to the x is going to be the first function divided by g of x. Why we have to stick with this condition? Always g of x with the division between two functions is not equal to the zero. Why?
Because it can't. It's a denominator.
It can't be zero. Why? Anything, any function or any number divided by zero is what? It's undefined. So that's why the function also, when you evaluate, you can't divide by zero. That's why with the division, always g of x should be not equal to zero. Okay. We have a new operation. It's called composite function or composition, which is here. That's important. It's not addition, it's not multiplication, it's kind of here, look here. We have G composite with F, F composite with G for the X. Which one is the first function? F. F is out, G of X inside. You have to understand because we're going to do example. You're going to plug in G of X inside f of x. Check here. This is f of x, and this is g of x, okay? And do it like this. F of x, g of x. You see the first one? F of x is outside, g of x inside. You see, I'm going to plug in g of x inside, f of x, like this. Okay, you got it? With the second one is the opposite. We're gonna consider this is g of x, and this is f of x. This is f of x. I'm going to put f of x inside g of x. And the idea, we're going to do an example by practicing. It's going to be easier. It's called composite function or composition. Let's start with these. So now they're going to give you f of x, g of x, h of x. I start from the easiest one and they keep going on. They ask you to evaluate. If I need to find f to the -3, that means I'm going to plug in -3 where an f function. Plug in here and here, and be careful here. So it's going to be -3 squared minus 3 times -3 plus 1. Okay, we just plug in the numbers. So it's going to be -3 squared, 9. -3 times -3, the 9, plus 1. So it's going to be 9 plus 9, plus 1. That's it. Okay, we're just evaluating. The second one, it says G over 4. That means I'm going to plug in 4 where in G function, which is here. So it's going to be square root of 8 minus 4, which is equal square root of 4, which is equal to. Just evaluating. Certain numbers. The third one, telling you what? Find f to the a plus 1. Can you do that? right? 8 plus 1, yes. It's the same thing. Don't confuse yourself. You're gonna plug in instead of each x, what are you gonna plug in? 8 plus 1. So don't confuse yourself. You're gonna use the same one. That means it's going to be 8 plus 1 squared minus 3 times a plus 1 plus 1. Is that okay? We're not using this. No. I'm trying to find f a plus 1. So a plus 1 is a number, right? The whole thing is a number. So I'm going to plug in a plus 1 where? Instead of x. So it's going to be 8 plus 1 squared, because x squared minus 3x, which is a plus 1, plus 1. Is that okay? Now, next step, I'm not going to keep it like this. I have to simplify it. How are we going to simplify this one? Just kind of you're doing multiplication between two parentheses, right? Minus 3, a plus 1 plus 1. A times a squared. A times 1 is going to be a. 1 times a, 1 times 1, 1. On this part here, I have to distribute. So negative 3 times a, negative 3a. Negative 3 times 1, negative 3. And this is by itself. So, okay, so far, then what's the next step? Combine the like terms. A squared by itself. Now, a plus a, 2a. Minus 3a, minus a. 1 plus 1, 2. Minus 3. That's it. Is that okay? You have to be careful when you FOIL, when you distribute, careful with the sign. That's the problem with this part. Okay, so far. Number 4. They ask you to find number 4. They ask you to find G to number 10. G to number 10, that's when I'm going to plug in 10 where? G function. So it's going to be square root of 8 minus 10, which is equal square root of
2.
First of all, square root of negative 2, right? Which is equal, you can take the negative sign out for square root of, that's it. We can't find square roots, and we're not gonna plug in any. On Alex platform, if they're not gonna accept this one, they're gonna give you another option that says undefined. Okay, if they're not gonna accept this one as a solution, just this one's still right, because you're just gonna take the negative sign out as an I, still right. But if they're not gonna accept it as a solution, you will see the another option says undefined. Okay. Number 5. This is on number 5. So don't confuse yourself if you get like these questions. F minus G to negative 8. Don't worry about the number. F minus G, if you go back to the rule, it says what? In general. F minus G to the X in general, it says F of X minus G of X. So check what's the difference. Instead of X, we have what? Negative 8. So I'm just gonna say, okay, they asked me to find F minus G to the negative 8, which is equal F to the negative 8 minus G to the negative 8. Is that hard? Now, what's the next step? Plug in negative 8 where? in the f function. So that means I have to plug in -8 in the f function here, which is going to be -8 squared. By the way, you're gonna plug in -8 in the f function on the side and just bring the result. It's gonna be fine. You get the idea? You're gonna plug in -8 in the f function, and how much is going to be the result? Like 5, you're gonna put 5 here. You don't have to do the like you can plug in on the side. You can plug in here, it's fine. Like -8 squared minus 3 times -8 plus 1. Is that okay? So this is the first function. This one, I'm gonna plug in -8 and that function. And so is here. Now, next step, here's the minus. I need to plug in -8 where? Now in G. You see the minus? Here's the minus. Now plug in f of -8 in G, which is here. It's going to be what? Square root 8 minus -8. See, I have to be careful. Check, we have minus here and -8. Is that okay? So this one is going to be, this is G -8. How much you gonna get from here and how much you gonna get from here? Tell me.
Minus.
Wait, so you get here 89. Here is the minus. How much you got here?
36.
Which is? And the final result is going to be? 85. That's it. So you just have to be careful when you plug in the numbers. Is that okay so far? For example, number 5, number 6. Number 6, what they ask you?
One for each.
To the 0. G times H. G times H to 0. In general, G times H to the X is going to be G to the X times H to the X. Is that okay? Now we need to find G times H to the 0. So it's going to be G to the 0 times H to the 0, which is G to the 0, that is 0 and G function. That is 0 here. It's going to be square root of 8 minus 0. It's the first one. Times. You can put parentheses. You don't have to put parentheses. Both is going to be right. Now plug in 0 where? H. Which is going to be 2 over H, which is 0 plus 1. Here is going to be 8 minus 0 is square root of 8 times 0 plus 1. 1. 2 divided by 1.
2.
Can we simplify it more? What's the square root of 8? Two square root of 2. So 2 square root of 2 times 2. Now can I multiply this 2 with this one? So it's going to be 4 square root of 2. That's it. Number 7. Let's do number 7. They ask you find h to the negative 1, right? H to the negative 1. Here's the h. I'm going to plug in negative 1 here instead of x, which is equal. It's going to be 2 over negative 1 plus 1, which is equal 2 over negative 1 plus 1. So what's the result?
Undefined.
Undefined. That's it. Let's do one more by one the operations. So if they ask you, check here in general. Now they ask you to find, you have f of x and g of x. First of all, let's find f plus g x. There is no number. We need to find f plus g in general for all numbers. By using the rule, f plus g to the x is going to be what? It's going to be f of x plus what? G of x. Okay? I'm just using the rule. So this is rule number 1. So now it's going to be f of x, the whole function here, x squared plus 4x plus 2. Here is the plus sign. G of x is 3x squared minus 4. Is that okay? So next step, just have to combine the like terms. X squared plus 3x squared, 4x squared. 4x, do I have an x here? No, so keep the 4x down. 2 minus 4, that's it. So in general, f plus g for the x here. Now, if I ask you find f plus g to the 1, I don't have to go back, plug in 1 in f of x, then plug in 1 in g of x, then combine the result. I don't have to do that. I'm just gonna go plug in 1 where? This is the new function. This is the sum of these two functions. You get the idea? So I'm just gonna plug in 1 here, which is going to be equal 4 times 1 squared plus 4 times 1 minus 2. So it's going to be 4 plus 4 minus 2. 8 minus 2 is going to be, you get the idea? Can I do the same thing with the same functions when it's minus? Like if I ask you, find f minus g to the x. As a rule, it says f of x minus g of x.
I think so.
It's the same thing, but you have to be careful. I'm doing that on purpose. You have to be careful on one thing. So f of x is what?
X squared plus 4x plus 2.
Plus 4x plus 2. Okay. Minus g of x.
3x squared minus 4.
That's it. That's wrong.
Parentheses.
Wrong or no? You're gonna put parentheses. You have to be careful because the minus g of x is the whole function. So the whole function here should with parentheses, and then you're going to distribute the sign. So it's going to be x squared plus 4x plus 2 negative times 3 negative 3x squared negative times negative positive 4. You see the difference? That's why I'm telling you have to be careful with the sign, with the negative sign always. It's going to be equal x squared minus 3x squared 4x by itself, 2 plus 4. See now the difference between the addition and x minus. You get the idea? What about multiplication? We do the same thing. Let's do multiplication. 4. I'm giving you this example because I didn't see this one on there. So f times g to the x is going to be f of x times g of x, which is mean f of x squared is 4x plus 2 times g of x 3x squared minus 4. Okay. Now we have to FOIL everything. X squared times 3x squared, 3x to the power 4. X squared times -4, negative 4x squared. 4x times 3x squared, 4x times 3x squared is going to be 12x cubed. 4x times -4, negative 16x. 2 times 3x, 6x squared. 2 times -4. Next step, finite terms. 3x to the power 4. I have squared. I have squared. I have cubed, so I'm gonna write down 12x cubed. -4 plus 6 plus 2x squared. What was the left? Negative 16x minus 8. That's it. Now, the same question. If I ask you f times g to the 1, what are you gonna do? You're gonna plug in 1 here. Plug in 1 instead of the x. You're gonna get that. Is that okay? Piece of cake. Now we have PC3 fraction. When they ask you, that's exactly what we did before. They ask you find, which is number 8, find r minus t to which number? To the x. You see, it's in general. They didn't ask you to a certain number. So r minus t, if you follow the rules, is going to be r of x minus t of x. Okay. So r of x, where is r of x? So it's going to be equal x squared plus 3 minus t of x. Don't forget the sign. The parentheses, sign parentheses. T of x is x plus 4. Is that okay? So next step, x squared plus 3, distribute the negative sign. Give me minus x minus 4. Simplify it, x squared. I'm going to write down the x first. Combine 3 minus 4 is -1. That's it. Now, they ask you also, what's the domain? What's the domain? What's the domain?
Domain is
X squared. What's the domain? That's it. Until infinity to positive infinity. Is that hard?
then that's it shouldn't make a difference if you put the R the T in front of the R, right?
If you put the T, oh yeah, it's gonna be difference.
Because I got a different answer right now. I'm like, what?
So why you switch it?
I just
Oh, 2 exactly is gonna be different, especially with the negative. Like 1 minus 2 is the same thing, 2 minus 1. No. 1 plus 2, yeah, the same thing, 2 plus 1. But with the minus, no.
Okay, so make sure.
Okay? So don't switch it. That's a good point. Don't switch it, okay? Do exactly what they ask you. Number 9 is definition, right? 9 over. We can. Number 9, they ask you r over t to the x, which is equal what? R of an x divided by t of an x. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write down r of an x, which is x squared plus 3, divided by t of an x, which is x plus 4. Can you simplify it? Can you factor one of them? You can't.
X plus 1, X plus.
You can't. No, you can't, because it's a binomial. The only way to factor binomial when we have difference between two squares, and if we find the greatest common factor, we can do that here. Because it's not difference. We don't have common. I can't do anything with the bottom. Can I cancel top with the bottom? No. Don't cancel the x with the x. That's not gonna happen. Okay. Now that's the result. You say, okay. Sometimes some of the students they say, okay, that's the result. Yes, this is the result. You can simplify it. The question, what's the domain? That's the question. What's the domain if we have rational? This is a rational, right? The domain, what's the meaning of domain? It's mean all the available numbers I can plug in. I can plug in all the numbers except what?
Except 4.
Not 4.
Oh, wait, negative 4.
Negative 4. If you go back here, why we saying the domain is from negative infinity to infinity? That means I can plug in all the numbers. It's going to be fine. I can input all the numbers from negative infinity to infinity. It's going to be fine. There's no problem. If you go to the second number 9, the domain, yes, I can plug in all the numbers except negative 4. Because when you plug in negative 4 here, negative 4 plus 4 is going to be 0. Any number divided by 0 undefined, that's a problem. So I can say the domain, all the numbers except negative 4. And that's going to happen only with rational. Who's going to tell me negative 4 is what?
Asymptote.
It's an asymptote. It's a rational. And the asymptote, the vertical asymptote with the rational function. And the asymptote, always the function is undefined at that number. How are we going to get the asymptote? By set the bottom part equal to 0 and solve it. In this case, our domain is going to be what? Our domain from negative infinity to which number? Negative 4. See, parentheses, I'm not going to include negative 4. Union with what? Negative 4 to infinity. Because the asymptote always making the function undefined. Okay? So, okay. Jump to the next one. Which is equal what? S of x times t of x. S of x, which is 2 over x times t of x is x plus 4. And how am I going to do that? How am I going to do the multiplication? The same thing. We have a number times parentheses. So what I have to do? Distribute. So 2 over x times x, 2 over x times x, right? Plus 2 over x times what? 4. Next step, how I'm going to do the multiplication? X with the x, can I cancel it? Can I consider this is over 1? 2 times x is 2x. X times 1 is x. Is that okay? Plus the same thing here. 2 times 4, 8. X times 1 is x. Now I need to simplify it more. Can I cancel this x with this x? Why I can cancel the x here? I can't cancel the x here.
Squared.
No, it doesn't matter what's square. Because this is the whole term, and the sign between these two numbers is what? Sign is what?
I'm sorry.
Like it's a plus, not multiplication. You're gonna cancel only when you have multiplication. I'm gonna show you another example before we go in further. Okay. Multiplication between 2 and x, right? 2x is mean 2 times x. So I can cancel the x with the x. What's the left? Here is going to be 2 plus 8 over x. This is the result. Okay? You can't just leave it like this. Now, what's the domain? Domain is which number I cannot plug in.
0.
I cannot plug in. I cannot plug in all the numbers except 0. 0 is the problem because when I plug in 0 here, any number divided by 0 is a problem, right? So that's mean I can plug in all the numbers except 0. So it's going to be from negative infinity to 0, union 0 to infinity. Is that okay? Let's go back to this question here. X plus 2. I'm just going to give you an example. X minus 2 divided by x plus 2. Now, can I simplify this one? Why? Why I can cancel this one with this one? Because it's parentheses and here's multiplication. This parentheses multiply by this parentheses over this one. It's the same thing when you're saying 2 times x divided by x. Is that okay? It's the same thing. 2 times x over x. I can cancel x with the x. Is that okay? Now, what about if we have can I cancel x with the x?
No.
No, because you see, there's no multiplication. You get the idea? What about if I have x times? You get the idea? Just to refresh your mind. The difference quotient, as I told you, that's important when you study count 1. You know, to find the problem, the tangent line problem, but you have to learn how to evaluate the difference quotient, which is fx plus h minus f of x divided by h. So now if I have this function, I need to find this value, okay? That's my goal. I need to find how much is going to be f of x plus h minus f of x divided by the value of h. Now, f of x, which is the part exists here, right? F of x is exists here. I need to find what's going to be if I said f, a plug-in instead of each x, I'm gonna put x plus h. Instead of each x, I have to put what? X plus h. So I'm gonna go back here. instead of each x, I'm gonna put x plus h, right? So here is the 5 and here is the 2. You got the idea what I did? Instead of each x, I put what? X plus h. So I'm gonna go to the other side. Instead of each x, I'll have to put x plus h. So okay. Now, can I go back and plug in everything here? So f to the x plus h minus f of x divided by h is going to be equal. Do I have this part? Which is this one, right? So it's going to be 5 x plus h minus 2. Is that okay? Now minus. Here's the minus. Parentheses. F of x, is that f of x? It's 5x minus 2. And everything divided by what? Is that okay? Problem? Now what's the next step? Can I FOIL here? FOIL here. Distribute the sign. And then combine the like terms. Let's check what's going to happen. 5 times x, 5x. 5 times h, 5h. Here's minus 2. Now negative times 5x, negative 5x. Negative times negative 2. Everything divided by what? Combine the like terms. 5x minus 5x, okay. Negative 2 plus 2, what's the left? 5h divided by h. Now can I cancel the h with the h? What's the left? That's it. So the quotient, the difference quotient for f of x is what? 5. You get the idea? When you're checking Cal 1, you're gonna add the limit on. That's the way how you're gonna find the tangent line problem. Is that okay? So let's do the same thing. Find the quotient difference. So it's the same rule here. That means I have f of x. I need to find f of x plus h, which is equal. Instead of each x, I'm going to plug in, which is here is going to be x plus h squared minus 3 x plus h plus 8. Okay. Now, before I'm going to plug in the original one, I'm going to simplify it. I'm going to simplify this part, right? FOIL, distribute, and add to the 8. So I'm going to say this is equal x plus h times x plus h minus 3 x plus h, and here's a plus 8. FOIL here, x times x plus the same thing, okay, plus h squared. I did that on purpose to tell you xh is the same thing hx. Okay, so if you add down h, just flip it, it's gonna be fine. That means you can combine this one with this one. Okay? FOIL distribute here. So minus 3x minus 3h plus 8. Do we have like terms to combine? Which is this one and this one. Else. That's it. No, that's it. It's going to be equal x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus 3x minus 3h plus 8. Is that okay? The whole thing here is what? x plus h. Okay, we didn't finish. Our goal is to find what? The difference quotient. Our goal is to find f x plus h minus f of x divided by h. That's our goal. But now it's easier. F of x plus h equal the whole thing here. Minus f of x is
Minus 3x plus 8.
what's the next step? Write down the whole thing and distribute the next side. So it's going to be x squared plus 2x xh h squared 3x minus 3h plus 8 minus x squared plus 3x minus 8. And everything divided by. Now let's simplify it by adding the like terms. This one cancel with this one, right? 3x cancel with the 3x, and 8 cancel with the 8. Almost over half is gone. What's the left? Plus h squared plus 3h divided by h. That's it. Now, can we simplify it more?
Yes.
How?
I want to say you take out the h's that you're multiplying.
So take out the h as a common. Can I take the h as a common between these three terms? So if I took the h as a common, what's the left? 2x plus h.
Factor the top.
Yes, minus
The eight top.
divide by h. Cancel this one with this one. So the left is going to be 2x plus h minus 3. Is that okay? This is really important. When you're taking Cal 1, you have to learn how to find the limit by using, this is called the limit process. You're gonna add something here, do the same thing here. So you already know how to do these. Just one more thing you have to add it here, the limit when x approach to the 0, you're gonna plug in 0 here, gone, you found the solution. Okay, so that's why it's okay. Let me cover this one. So this one is 15. You remember the last operation we took as a composition or composite? We're gonna learn this one. If we have f of x and g of x. Again, that's important because with the composition, you have to know which one is going to be outside. So check here. This is f and this is g. F always flat like this one, and G make it like a circle. So which one is going to be inside? G is going to be inside F. Is that okay? So as a rule, we're gonna say, okay, this one equal, F is outside, and inside is going to be G of x. See, that's why I'm writing down small. This one is going to be inside what? F. Here is F. Write down G of x. Where is G of x? You see? G is going to be inside F. That's mean in each x in F function, I'm going to plug in G, which is 5x plus 4, which is G. So G is going to be inside F. In each X in F function, I'm going to plug in G, which is 5X plus 4. I'm going to go to the F. In each X in F function, I'm going to plug in G. So it's going to be 5X plus 4 squared minus 3, 5X plus 4 plus 1. Is that okay? Each X in F function, I'm going to plug in the G. G is 5X plus 4. There's the result. Then you have to simplify it. How are we going to simplify it? Foil here. Minus 3. Distribute here. Combine with the 1. Is that okay? Go to the other side. I'm gonna do these steps and combine, you're gonna get the result. Okay? What about next step? The next part. G composite with F. Which one is going to be outside? G is outside and F is going to be inside. Inside G. So as a rule, G is outside and here is f of x. So in each x in G function, I'm going to plug in f of x. So here is G, f of x is x squared minus 3x plus 1. So in each x in G function, I'm going to plug in the whole thing. Each x in G function, I'm going to plug in the whole thing. So it's going to be 5x squared minus 3x plus 1 plus 4. Is that okay? You're going to get the result in a few minutes. Tell me, G circle F to the x, that part, equal F circle G to the x. How much you got for this side?
X squared plus 25x
Plus
13.
13
And 25x
square
plus 25x
25x.
plus 13.
What about the other one?
5x squared minus 15x. 9.
Plus. So is there equal? Equal? No. So you're not gonna get equal. So here, if they ask you to find A and B, A, if they're telling you find F composite with G to the X. Okay? What's the solution? The solution is this one. B, if they ask you find F composite with G to 0. You're gonna plug in 0 where? Here. I'm not gonna go to the first one and find, no. Go and plug in the 0 in the general, you're gonna get the result. Is that okay? Sometimes they're gonna ask you like this. Let's check the next example. So on example 15, because 14 is gonna be the same thing what we did on the number 15. On 15, they give you F and G. I'm going to ask you, find F composite with G to which number? To 9, not to the X. And here they ask you to find G composite F. The same number?
6.
Oh, different. Okay. So you see that's a little bit different. It's not different. You can do the same way what we did on the previous example. Like find in general, you can find, okay, F composite with G to the X, and then when you found the solution, you're gonna plug in the 9, okay? Or you can do this method. If they give you a number, check what I'm doing. Instead of doing this, both is going to be right. If you find the X in general, like what we did on the previous example, and then you're going to plug in the 9, it's going to be right, okay? But if they give you the number, you can work it in an easier way, okay? So I need to find F composite with G to the 9. I know F is outside, right? F and G to the 9 were inside. G to the 9. Can I plug in 9 in G function right away?
No.
Let's find out.
Because X is 9.
Because X is known number. I'm gonna plug in 9 where? So here is F, G to the 9. That means going to be 2 times 9 minus 8. Okay, 2 times 9, 18. 18 minus 8.
And
So it's going to be what? F to the 10. Now, 10 plug in where?
F.
In the F, which is here. So it's going to be 3 over what? 10 minus 4, which is equal 3 over 6, which is equal half. You get the idea? So if you do this one in general and then going to plug in the 9, it's going to be the same result, half. But when they didn't ask you to find this part, only for number, you don't have to go do all the process. Do this one. It'll be easier. Same thing with this one. Which function is out? G. So this one equals G out, and F is inside. So I'm gonna plug in 6 where? In the X in the F function here. So it's gonna be 3 over 6 minus 4. G 6 minus 4, 2. So it's gonna be 3 over 2. Now I'm gonna plug in 3 over 2 where? The G function, which is here. So it'll be 2 times what? 3 over 2 minus 8. Can I cancel 2 with the 2? The left is the 3 minus 8, which is equal. See, we have different solutions. Is that okay? Kind of easier. You have 2 graphs, one for f of x and one for g of x. What they ask you, find f minus g to which number? 2, which is equal what? F to the 2 minus g to the 2. What's the meaning of f to the 2? That's mean 2 is the x. We need to find what?
Y.
The y. So you're gonna go when x equal 2. This is f of x. When x equal 2, how much the y value? The x2. The y value width is 2. So how much the result here? 2 minus g of 2. See the blue one? When x is 2, how much the value of g? So how much the result?
2.
You know what we're doing? To kind of find the y value. The same thing. Let's choose another number. Let's say negative 2. What I'm going to do f times g to the negative 2, which is equal. Of course, on Alex, it's going to be more clear. like the graph you have. Okay? So f times g to the negative 2 is going to be f to the negative 2 times g to the negative 2. Here is negative 2. How much f? Kind of negative 4, right? 4 times g, negative 2g is 1. So how much the result? Negative 4. Get the idea how to solve it? It's easier than what we did the whole thing, the previous thing. Because everything exists on the graph. Okay?